All right, starting to fill up the airways already. Good to see you guys here. We're a little bit late, but it's going to be a fantastic show. We had a ton of stuff to get ready for tonight. Glad you're being patient with us. Hey, I'm Chris with Cycle Source Magazine. We're getting ready to go live with Shop Talk. Just 3.5 minutes out. Hurry up and hit the like and share button. Let your friends and neighbors know we're going live with Shop Talk. 90 to 120 minutes, all the bullshit we can fit. Some news, some entertainment. You know the deal. Two wheels. We're digging it. Fresh back from Daytona. I know we were there for like a month, right? Got some killer news for you guys from Daytona and some stuff coming up the end of the year. Kick back, relax, get ready. 3 minutes, we go live with Shop Talk. Stick around. Shanker GR asks, is anyone from Texas? Well, our guest of the evening is Mr. Xavier Muriel from Providence Cycle Works down there in Austin. We're going to have him on. He's got some news. Mustafa, good to see you here, buddy. Kenny Sweeney, good to see you here watching. Hey, put up your hometown where you guys are watching from. We'd like to give you a shout out and see where we're reaching. This thing goes further and further all the time. Big thank you out to everyone over at Choppertown for helping us make that happen. Choppertown, if you're not hip to it, man, get over to the Choppertown Facebook page. They got a ton of great programming. Johnny99 in the house. So good to see you, buddy. Dennis Stauber, Big D checking in from Marengo, Illinois. Good to see all you guys. Just 2.5 minutes. We're going live. Oh, we got to give a special shout out. Emily Burchell watching from Lago Vista, Texas. One of my favorite places on the entire planet. Good to see you checking in with us. Jason Holman, hey, watching from Lakeland, Florida. Larry Moore, the chill is on 15th through the 17th of October 2021. Good for you, Larry. Make sure you get us some information so we can hook you up with some promos on that. Tom Keefer Jr., what's up, Tom? How come you're watching? Oh, well, you're not on till later. There's the secrets out of the bag. Tom's coming on a little bit. Minute and a half. Lance Baxter, good to see you here, Leesburg, Florida. Tom Banks, absolutely. It was my pleasure. Tom and Dave Pirowitz crashed one of our shows the other night while we were doing Cannonball Chronicles, still in Florida, in Willie's parking lot. So good to have those two. What a hoot. All right, good to see all you guys. 1 minute left, and we're going live. I'm going to catch my breath and get the pre-roll ready, and we're going to rock. Shop Talk goes live. 1 minute. Okay, a couple real quick. Jamie Rooney, Jumpstart, Dennis Larson, Robert Jackson, Chattanooga, Tennessee. And with just 28 seconds left, that's telling me it's time to get this one out of the station and up on the tracks and get ready to launch another killer episode of Shop Talk. Here we go. Okay, scooter tramps and chopper jockeys from all across the land. It is just after 9 p.m. on Sunday. That means it's time for Shop Talk. A little bit late, but we're not even going to talk about that. We're going to get on with what is going to be a fantastic show. I want to thank you for being here. I'm Chris from Cycle Source Magazine, coming to you live street level in the Mobile Command Center through the courtesy of the Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio, helping us get this word out everywhere. All of our networks, Cycle Source Magazine, Choppertown, thanks everybody for helping us get this out there. And man, it seemed like we were in Florida forever. We were there for 3 weeks, almost a month.
Not long enough.
Now I'm back and it's snowing here. What's up, crew?
Well, it's not snowing. Let's not get carried
dude,
away.
If it snowed right now,
like
I would not be surprised.
32 degrees on Thursday. Tell me why we came home. And just
aren't
so
you
know,
from New
that's
Hampshire?
the longest 5
Yeah, she
minutes.
is,
Aren't you
right?
from like up north?
Mark is wearing flannel. I'm wearing flannel. Heather's wearing flannel.
I am not wearing flannel.
It is flannel.
It's flannel.
No, it's not actually. This is my Brooks and Dunn
But it's flannel.
cotton Western shirt. It's not flannel.
Rob must
Did you-
only be so
Sorry.
upset right now.
Did you just say that? This is my Brooks and Dunn.
Well, it's
She's
not
name
flannel.
dropping.
All right, man. So, Two Wheel Entertainment. If you're wondering what Shop Talk is, we get together every Sunday. We talk about stuff that's going on in the industry. We do some news. We do, bring some people in, have some great talk. Basically, recap events. Everything that we normally do in Cycle Source Magazine, we try to bring a weekly out here. It all adds up to 90 minutes, 90 to 120 minutes. Damn, I'm losing it. 90 to 120 minutes of all the bullshit we can fit. There's a script somewhere. Obviously, I'm not reading it, but hey, let's take a look at the news. First up in the news tonight, and this come in from Harley-Davidson. Harley-Davidson kicks off Pan America Adventure Motorcycle Demo Tour. This sounds like an outstanding idea.
Yes. I'm going to do it.
Harley-Davidson recently unleashed its bold take on adventure touring with the all-new Pan American 1250, Pan American 1250 Special motorcycles. Spirit of adventure touring is one of the endless possibilities and is unrestrained freedom. Unrestrained freedom. From its inception, more than a century ago, when many roads were little more than dirt trails, Harley-Davidson has stood for adventure. Riders will soon be able to experience that freedom firsthand, as Harley-Davidson is proud to announce the Harley-Davidson Pan American Motorcycle Demo Tour. The tour kicks off in April, and signs up for HD-hosted demos are now available here. Click the link on Harley's site. Heather, tell us all about it.
You just did. No, seriously, there's a tour. They're going all over the country. You have to pre-register. They're starting. Oh, I'm actually in the wrong one. They're starting. It looks like in Dallas, Texas.
Groovy.
I did put a link up to the booking portion where you can just click that link, sign up to do your demo. But Dallas, Texas, Loudon, New Hampshire, Southern New Hampshire, New Jersey, and Connecticut, Albuquerque, New Mexico, Phoenix, Arizona, California, Las Vegas, Idaho. It sounds like they're pretty much hitting everywhere across the country. So when are you going to do yours?
Rob Nussbaum says, unrestrained freedom, the new true pioneer spirit.
Pat Jansen just fell out of his chair.
I miss Pat.
No, but you know what,
Me
man?
too.
Like, this is as soon as I read this news clip, I was like, yes, that's it. Like, if you're going to capture this demographic or people who are really down for this, putting them in an arena where they can actually test that bike in a real environment, that's awesome.
Yeah, and the environment it's designed for.
Mustafa says, what about Libya? I don't see it on the press release, but
I'm sure they will get there. This is a U.S. specific press release, but we'll stay tuned, Mustafa.
Heather, that's your new puzzled look sound.
I love that Mustafa. He watches every week,
I
and
know.
it's so cool that we have such a he tunes in from Libya every week. That's exciting.
Right on. So let's get back to the news. Next up in the news, and again, it's Harley-Davidson. This one comes in from Visor Down. Harley-Davidson dealer to give away free motorcycles to those in need. Wilkins Harley-Davidson in Bear, Vermont, is giving away one bike per 50 sold to those who apply to the Freedom for All project.
That's pretty. Like, how do you determine? Like, is a motorcycle really like a need?
If you ask me, it is.
Yeah, I was going to
Well,
say. I think it is.
Yes, I mean I do agree, but like in the grand scheme of things.
No, you know what? In grand scheme of things, like we got to put things in perspective. If we were in another country, I'm sure there would be many other things that you could put ahead of your need. But think about it from the average blue collar American. A person that's providing for a family, who's always making the right choices for the family, doing the job, paying the bills. maybe an opportunity to get a motorcycle and get out on the road and get a little bit of enjoyment out of life, I could see that. I could see listing that as a need.
Yeah, I totally can too.
Well, thank you very much.
I don't know. You said average Joe.
Who gave you that monster again today? Because that's what
Somebody
it feels
gave you a
like.
monster today?
Yes.
What the hell is wrong with the people?
Amelia sharing her energy drinks.
Oh,
it wasn't
boy.
a monster. She called it a bang or a
I don't
smack.
I don't know.
No, not a smack. That's Twisted Tea. It was a bang.
Either way, you should never have that again.
What is this really coming to?
Ever. All right. Well, listen. We'll get back to some of the rest of the news later on because I'm antsy to get to our guest.
You're
you
just
guys,
very excited.
I am excited. You guys have watched this cat come up from what seemed like almost nowhere from behind the scenes. He's been a long what? What are you
Jason
doing?
Holman says the guy with 14 motorcycles.
Bastard. So go ahead. You want to tell the story? You want to tell like why Jason's funny he keeps bringing up 14 motorcycles?
It's great.
Because he's funny.
It is. It's funny.
No, Mark, listen. We're at a dinner in Daytona. There's like 30 people there. Fast Freddy and Warren, like all the guys, right? Jason's sitting directly across from me, and Heather's sitting to my right. He looks at me during dinner and says, "How many motorcycles do you have?" Like literally says it to me. And I can feel her eyes burning into my skull. And I'm like,
pretty much put you on the spot.
I said, dude, why don't you just ask me about the redhead you saw me with yesterday or something, you know?
Boy. Hey, Jason, don't you know that's my job?
What, my misery?
Putting you on the spot, yeah. It's my job.
What do you got going on? What happened here while I was gone?
It got really warm. So I think it's you guys that are sucking this cold weather back and forth. Because if I'm not mistaken, when they were in Florida, it got a little shitty there. What happened here? Nothing. Work. Came up here, used some stuff in this shop, worked in my shop. It was I work. That's all I do. You know my routine.
Well, you're a giver, so
It's a curse. So.
All right, so listen, our guest tonight is a longtime rider, has risen up through the ranks of builder. He killed it at some of the biggest shows. He was voted Bike of the Year, Builder of the Year, both in Cycle Source and Easy Rider magazine, and our pleasure to watch his journey, and we're going to get to him right now. Please help us welcome Mr. Xavier Muriel from Providence Cycle Works.
On stage.
I swear to God, one of these days I'm going to say your name right. Xavier Muriel. Muriel. I don't know why I can't I have to put that special enunciation in. It's like I'm trying to.
Well, we change everybody's last name.
Listen, it's okay because for 16 years, the guy that I sat behind every freaking night didn't say it right either, so it's all good.
I know, but I don't want to be that guy, especially not that guy. I really don't want to be that guy. Nope.
Listen.
Well, nobody wants to be that guy.
You can call me whatever you want to call me. Just don't call me late for dinner. That's all I got to say.
Right on. So Daytona, man. Daytona was absolutely off the hook. But we're going to go all the way back to before Daytona and the insanity that was you finishing the HSR bike. Go.
Oh, man, right? And go. Well, dude, I'm speechless because, every time I ever remember watching those biker build-offs that everybody is familiar with watching, the most iconic builders get to that point where something went wrong. It was either a sprocket or the frame was painted wrong or it was heated up too much and the bolts didn't fit or whatever the situation was. I was like, man, that's kind of got to suck. And this was my unicorn. This is the one that, I had difficulties with Grace before and Lizzie and Patience, but it was never an idea that I felt was insurmountable. This one was, and
wait till the next one.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Wait till the next one. And the thing is I did it to myself because, this bike was originally supposed to be given away on the boat in 20. Well, of course, that didn't happen because of the pandemic. So basically, what happened is they went, oh, well, we're going to have to push this back to 21 and prep. And I'm like, okay, well, great, that's awesome. I'm 85% done. I've got this in the bag, man. No problems. It's all good. and then I move into a new facility with Mark Matthews from Texas Performance Motorcycle. And we start looking over the bike and we start talking about this and doing that. And I start getting these crazy ideas and he starts having these crazy. So basically I went back and deleted 65% of what I had already created to start these new ideas. Well, anybody that knows anything about their chrome and paint and powder coat and send that off and the parts weren't available. And then one thing led to the other. And then of course we had that gnarly ice storm that basically took 2 weeks out of everybody's existence in Texas. And it was down to dude, when people say like the 12th hour, this was like the 11th hour and 59th minute. And when I say that, ladies and gentlemen, I mean that. Like myself and Mark and Steve Chamberlain, we're all here at night just doing everything we can. There was issues with the front wheel after I changed the brake rotor, the caliper setup. The wheel had to go back to Elliott at Black Bike 3 times. And I got the wheel literally overnighted from Van Nuys, California, delivered to me at Destination Daytona Saturday morning. I'm in the van, putting it all together, using the torque wrench, blah, blah, blah. And people are like, where's Xavier? How come he's not out here hanging out? And all the people at the High Seas Rally Tent are like, he's in the van. Don't mess with him because he's liable to hit you with something. And literally. So I get it done. Bleed the brake. Oh, we're good. I'm so excited. And I sat back against the wall, Chris, and I looked like a kid that had just got punched in the nuts. I'm leaning up against the wall going, what just happened? And literally I open up the van door, the HSR van door, and they're like, hey, dude, what's going on? We're going to get it. And I close the door and I go, gonna need a minute alone, boys. And I walked around in the entire Destination Daytona area, breathing like, okay, my blood pressure needs to come down. It just needs to come back. It needs to come down.
But you know what? Like this is the thing, dude. And I was gonna bring this up throughout the show, but I think that's some of the greatest stuff for us. Like the kind of energy that you brought into this when you started making your transition from the rock and roll world into this, the kind of energy you brought with you is, everybody feeds off of it. We need that kind of energy because you look at things like you're seeing them for the first time a lot of times, because some of them you are. I mean, taking a motorcycle up to that level, that's brand new.
He just told a whole bunch of stories that we have lived for the past 15 years.
Oh, yeah. And see, and you're still living it. You're still living it.
It's all day today. It's painful.
Yeah. And literally when I got it done, we rolled it out Sunday morning because I told everybody that was involved, I was like, check it out. You can pull me from the project. You can whatever you need to do, but that bike is not coming out of that van until it is absolutely ready. And we rolled it out Sunday morning. We set it at the tent and I just stared at it and went, okay, now what? And yeah, exactly. And I couldn't have been more grateful, but at the same sense, dude, I was like, okay, Xavier, what have we learned today, children? Let's not do that shit again, and I made a whole bunch of notes and I was like, okay, so, it goes all the way back to that first invite from you for the Lone Star when I did Patience. And I was sitting on my garage floor at 3 a.m. talking to you going, dude, I can't do this. I cannot do this. And you're like, here's the deal, man. This is that point in time. You either push through and you figure it out or you give up. And that was it. And I went, okay, here we go. So,
hey, and listen, man, not that maybe this will make you feel any better, but some of what Mark was just talking about, like my Something Wicked shovel head, I literally put the last couple of those parts together in Lichter's exhibit hall at midnight. the day that was the last day to be there. And I mean, anybody
we
who's done
painted
this,
it 2 days before, the day before we left. Yeah.
and anybody who's done this, that's the nature of it.
I can still say, to jump in here, I can still say one of my favorite stories of all of the bike stuff we've ever done is an Xavier story. Was the drop off, the bedding down night, where he actually had a little meltdown mentally, and me and Will laughed so hard that we actually made him laugh. And it was probably, he woke up the next morning and
wait, you can't just allude to this shit now. Now you have to tell the story. Now you have to tell the story.
Sorry, X. Let me apologize now. So Xavier gets dropped off. Is jack shit. His famous line was, "Dude, he looks like a drowned rat." He finally makes it. Do you want to tell the story up to this?
No. I know.
No. I mean, how you got there.
I need to paint the picture of how I got dropped off
by
Mr. Lane. It was not a drop off, Mark.
Yeah,
it was a kick out.
It was a removal.
Get out of the truck, stand in. Okay, so like when people are, well, he got dropped off. No. The truck almost didn't come to a complete stop, and he kicked me out.
You got evacuated.
I love him. Evacuated. Yeah. So, anyways, continue.
So he finally makes it to the house that we're all, all of us from the magazine from Cycle Source are at, and he shows up. We all say hellos. We go downstairs. Me and Will were in the basement, and Xavier comes down. He's one of the people we're most comfortable with. We can spend every day together in the same room, and we all don't kill each other. So that should tell a lot. So he goes to lay down, and in his bed was a futon that actually I had used last year. Well, wisely I moved to the recliner. So Xavier gets the futon, and he lays down, and he's like, "Oh man, that's horrible." And Will says, "Man, my bed's super soft." Xavier says, "Mine's soft, or mine's hard." So him and Will switch. Will didn't even lay down, and he's like, "Fuck that, dude, you're on your own." So Xavier gets up, and we're trying to tell him, "Dude, just put the mattress on the ground, you'll be good." And I guess it was a long drive. The draw, like he said, the evacuation, you could tell when he got there.
It was raining like a cow pissing on a flat rock.
He didn't have a straight hair on his body when he got there. Like, he was afraid not. And finally, he's, what is wrong with me? A week ago I was on a tour bus. Now I'm laying on the floor, and he's going on and on. He finally gets his bed laid out, and he lays down, and it finally gets real quiet, and he goes, "Oh, that's nice." And that was like the end of it. It was all gone, and he woke up the next day, and it was like anything went, man. Like anything. We had a great rest of the week. But that night was, I think it all came to a head for you that night. And both me and Will had said to him, "Hey, X, dude, it's not going to get any easier, man. No easier at all."
Yeah.
And like, we didn't lie, right? I mean, not one bit.
Yeah, no, and it's, I just read Steve Broyles' comment about that. Hey, Poppy, that it doesn't. There's just something about it. I think there's very few people, whether it's motorcycles or guitar riffs or making music, or whatever, that just kind of navigate that thing, and it does this, and that's awesome. But I'm not that guy. But I think the most important thing that I take away from situations like the High Seas Rally build and Patience and Grace and any of the other ones I've done so far is that I always remember the words of, the guys that I look up to, that when I talk to them about certain things, they're like, this is what it's about. And it's that old cliche saying, if everybody could do it, they would. But it's those late nights, those frustrating situations, those that the thing won't weld properly. What's going on? And
you just said you weren't that guy. Turn around and look at that wall behind you. Dude, you are that guy. We're all that guy. You know what I mean?
I know, but it still freaks me out.
Yeah, right.
I just kind of go, and I go, okay, where did all this start? Well, first it started with Will Ramsey and a TIG lesson, and then it even got worse with Chris Callum and an invite. So here we are, But I mean, I have the most amazing people, and I've said it before and I'll say it again. I have the most amazing people in my phone contact list. Guys that I looked up to as builders, as icons, as these dudes who are now, I'm grateful and blessed enough to say, that are my friends. And I don't even want to place myself in that level because I don't want to, but I know that if I have a problem, if I have an issue, I can call them up and literally get walked through a situation. Or perfect example, the beauty of the community, the motorcycle industry, and the people who really, Chris, can I cuss? Because I'm trying to get better at not cussing. Okay. The people who really give a fuck about this industry and the community are the ones that will reach out to you in times of need. 6 days before I was supposed to plumb all this stuff, and all my stuff was supposed to be here from all of, the big 800-pound gorilla vendor people, blah, 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 didn't show up. I get on Instagram and I'm like, hey man, anybody holding this? And bros came out from the woodwork. And I had so much respect for that. And I never, ever really had experienced anything like that. Like people that I've met over the years, whether it was motorcycles or music or a combination of the two, were like, yeah, man, I've got 12 feet of it and I can send it to you. And I've got this and I've got that. And next thing you know, yeah, it was 3 or 4 or 5, 6, 7 days to get it because of the ice storm, but I got it.
Yeah, man.
And I thought that thing right there, Xavier, is the one thing that you always need to remember, that there are people in the community and the industry that want to help you. Yeah, there's a lot of fucking vampires out there and a lot of bad people, but for the most part, there's a lot of great people in this industry, man. And I'm really,
amen?
Yeah, amen.
Yeah, you're only as good as your network,
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that and the fact you're only as good as the way you treat other people.
Right.
And that's kind of what I'm really, really beginning to understand.
You gotta get the gift.
along with all this other stuff. Like, don't change shit at the 11th hour, Xavier.
Well, you can't because if you want to pay the price.
Yeah, because you had an idea. You woke up and you were taking a piss, and you're like, "Oh, but
it worked,
if I did that,
look at the bike behind you." So it works, man. I mean, sometimes those nerves are what make all the difference in the world. That last minute thought,
That's the difference, though. That's the kind of shit that, like, only by taking chances, man. You know the old adage about if you're not living life on the edge, you're taking up too much room.
Yeah, right.
And seriously, like, there's a lot of guys who would be way further ahead in their careers or their status as builders or whatever if they would take those chances, but they stay in their comfort zone. You know, they perceive it as staying in their lane, but taking those chances and pushing it to the limit and doing the time and the extra work that some people might not, that is what makes you stand out, because everybody doesn't.
A question out of curiosity, now that you turn around and we're looking at the bike, everybody's seen the bike, are you happy you did that 11th hour change? Does it make not that much of a difference for you? Then it was worth every bit of hair loss.
Yeah, because there was a lot of things that came about that I never would have thought of if somebody hadn't placed that carrot in front of me and went, well, did you think about this? And the idea, but then executing it and then seeing it at the end factor, I mean, is crazy. It's really crazy because it seems like such a long time ago when the whole thing started, when I got hooked up with High Seas Rally, and then they came to visit me via an introduction from a former person who used to work for the band. And it just seemed like it snowballed and we were moving, and then all of a sudden it was like, now we got to do nothing. And then the mind, and you guys know as well as I do, that the mind literally was just, okay, what do I do? How do I make this better? I've got to occupy my blah, 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 blah. And then not realizing that, again, the idea is great, but it's going to take a little bit more than or a lot more than what I had, originally constructed in the first place. But super, super, super happy with it, and now that I have the guys on, Randy from St. Louis, the STL, and Pat Jensen, and I don't even know the dude, Mark Matthews' friends from Dallas, who came to the aid in the 11th hour with that brake line. Gentlemen, thank you so much, because that shit is still on back order till fucking May. So,
so listen, while we're talking about good people, I have to give a couple shout outs. One that you're going to be connected to is Fern is watching. So Fernando, thank you for tuning in tonight and checking us out. Always good to see him here. Tons of other people that I want to make sure. Rob Doer, Steve Burrows, you said Poppy is on. Drew
Poppy's
Woodford.
in the house.
Yeah.
Nancy Weems is here with us again. Pat Jansen is actually on watching. So
Hi, Pat.
appreciate all you
Hello,
guys
Pat.
being here. One of the things that I want to get to, and we're gonna go through some of this real quick, and then take a quick break. And on the other side, we're gonna bring in some of your hooligan friends. But so here's part of the deal, Mark. Like, it's not bad enough that he's down to the wire and doing all this and going crazy, and he's in the van, he's locked in the van doing this, and I'm calling every 10 minutes saying, hey, I want to book a promo at the Broken Spoke. Hey, what's the bike? What's the deal? Are we going yet? Can I PR this? Like, what's going on? And he's like, eventually we had this very serious talk. I said, listen, man, I don't care when it happens. I just want to make sure that I'm being efficient and effective. And he goes, okay, then just hold and I'll be right back with you. But the whole thing came together, and we had a killer launch. I'm going to play a little bit of this just because it was a really good time at the Spoke. And when I think about where you've come from and all the great stages that you played, to see you doing this stuff, it's comparable. You know, I mean, I know this is not the same rush as coming out on stage at Budokan or Madison Square Garden, but pretty awesome. So let's roll from Broken Spoke, and we'll come back real quick.
The longtime drummer, he's been to Budokan. He's played in Madison Square Garden. He's played in Wembley Stadium. For over a decade, drummer of Buck Cherry himself, Mr. Xavier Muriel, Providence Cycle Works, builder of this year's High Seas Rally Kustom motorcycle. Give it up for him!
Dude, and the house was packed that night, too.
What's happening, Broken Spoke? Daytona Bike Week 80th 2021, motherfuckers! Yeah, see, they said we weren't going to be able to do this year, right? I can say whatever I want, right? Jay, can I say whatever I want? Awesome. Fuck those guys who said we wouldn't do this, all right? Fuck them all. Anyway, like all the guys are like, oh, don't say that, that's bad. So, my name's Xavier Muriel. I was with Buck Cherry for a long time. That track behind me, wow. Yeah, wow. I have a company based out of Austin, Texas, called Providence Cycle Works. I have been a long time admirer of Mr. Chris Callan, Mr. Jason Hallman, Mr. Rick Bray, Bill Dodge, Billy Lane, Jeff Cochran, Will Ramsey. The list goes on and on and on of builders that I've admired for so many years. My secret passion was Harley-Davidsons. When I wasn't on stage, I was in my garage fucking up welds, doing all kinds of things that didn't work the first time. And I have the most amazing guys, friends, brothers in my phone contact that I call them up and I go, Chris, what am I doing wrong? And they're like, well, you got to start here, you need to do this, and blah, blah, blah. So now I have a company, I build bikes, and I'm a super blessed guy. I was fortunate enough to get asked by the High Seas Rally to build a motorcycle for their High Seas Rally Dialysis Foundation. And what this is this allows dialysis patients to go on this cruise who otherwise would not be able to. And if anybody out there has a family member, a friend that is on dialysis, you know what I'm talking about. My only brother is on it. These people cannot, I say cannot, live the normal life that we get to right now. They have to go and sit in these chairs. They have to have their blood purified for 3 to 4 hours a session. So it makes going on a cruise just a little bit fucking difficult. This company, these amazing people have put together a program where bikes like this can get raffled off. They get given away. So the money from the foundation allows these people to do this. As a person who has a family member, that is the biggest thing to me in the world, that I could give back to something. They asked me to build a bike for them. I said I would. If anybody knows about what happened in Texas with that ice storm, man, then that fucked me up. So we almost didn't make it. Thank God we did. It's here.
I just wanted you to live this for a
honored.
minute,
I'm
you know,
so
because
stoked
I
to
know
be a
how
part
fast
of it
this shit goes
with
by
not
when
only
you're doing it.
the Cycle Source Media Group, Jason Hallman, and everybody else that's involved with this, Joey Fairchild, Jason over there, and anybody that has had anything to do with this, to take an idea and put it into action, and this is what we have now. So, shall we?
Listen, I just want to reiterate what he said. Thank you so much to High Seas Rally for giving us all an opportunity to get involved in this good work. I appreciate it. I appreciate everything that's going on there. Without further ado, you guys want to see a bitch and bike? You want to see this motorcycle? No, really. Broken Spoke, do you want to see this custom bike? Let's get down. Here we go. This is the 2021 High Seas Rally giveaway bike. All you have to do is be on the ship. That's going to one lucky contestant right there. One lucky cruise goer. Passenger. How do you say that? You guys are
Okay, so it was.
I just have to tell you, Chris. Do
yeah.
you know that before he did this, and this is Xavier. He came up to me. He's like, "I'm nervous." Xavier, he's played to millions of people. He's been on some of the biggest stages in the world, and he was nervous.
But he had security then.
I got to like sit behind a drum set and like watch all those other guys going boing, 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 and I just kind of went in the back and, but I mean, that's the first time I've watched it. I've never watched that before. I don't like watching myself. It kind of freaks me out, but man, what a great, and you said something earlier, Chris, it kind of like, that the stage that night didn't rival like the Budokan and all that other stuff. It actually is a bit more because I didn't have four other guys to do that with. This was me and you and Heather and Mark and Will and Paul and Jeff and Billy and everybody else that is involved in my motorcycle life. That was all of us up there. And man, what an amazing feeling, to be able to like look at that thing in front of the stage that we played last year and just be like, okay, great. But it's like you always tell me, okay, that's an awesome job. What's next? So
wrong video.
yeah.
It happens. Yeah, so this is actual footage from the day that we were shooting at the beach with you and Rick. And we wanted to roll this just while you were talking about it because it's an exceptional bike, absolutely top shelf. It's killer that High Seas is doing this, and they're bringing builders onto the boat and really tying into the custom motorcycle scene. But like we talked about on stage that night, the real thing that's behind this is the dialysis fund and bringing people that would not be able to be on a trip like this. So. That's... And
again, that bike that's on the screen is not just me. That is myself, and that is Dan Toast and Paul Cox and Jace from Fast Life Garage and Dubois Plating and Polishing and Chris and Heather Callan and Rick Bray, Jason Hallman, anybody that I know that is in my contact list that helped me at some point, whether it was just like, dude, yeah, no, you can't do that. That's a bad idea. Kurt from Bare Bones, look at that seat. I mean, all of that is everybody. That's just not an Xavier build. And I love that, man. I fucking love that a lot of people that walked by that bike and looked at it at Destination Daytona and were saying amazing, Greg White, a lot of people saying, oh, I love that, and the way you did this and the way you did that. Yeah, there's a lot of that stuff that's me, but that is an accumulation of everybody in my life. And I love that, and I no one man is an island. And I think if it ever got to the point where I thought that my shit was too whatever, I'm out. I don't want to be that dude, man. There's too many of those cats rolling around right now, and I don't want any part of that. I really don't. I mean, this is
the stuff that you're talking about there is exactly why I tell Heather that I I can't sell a motorcycle, because by the time you get done with a build, like, it's all the time that Mark and I spent together, and Daniel from Pandemonium came over and helped with some welding, and Matt came up and spent a day with us doing wiring and stuff, and like all of those things, there's a story in every one of those builds. And
the
it's
story
hard.
is we can't buy a new house because you have too many motorcycles.
And that's okay. That's okay.
Jason, I swear to
wait,
God, I'm going to get even with you.
Yeah, Jason, and let's just talk about that for a second. Jason was just like, and he said that comment, and the table went, and everybody stopped, and all you saw was your face like this, and it was priceless, dude. It was absolutely priceless. I just remember going, well, you're in the thick of it now, dude.
All right, so listen, will you stay here with us for a minute? We're going to pay some bills for the show real quick, and when we come back on the other side, we actually have some of your cohorts that are going to be on the trip with us all.
Cool.
And we want to talk a little bit more about the High Seas Rally. So if you guys will stick with us, we're coming to you live. This is Shop Talk every Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, through the courtesy of the Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio. We do this little program. Glad to have you here with us. And we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back in 2 and 2. Stick around.
Ever since I was younger than Gavin, I knew that I wanted to ride. I'd see a group of bikes going down the highway with all their gear packed on, and I just thought that I definitely want to do that. That's what I want to do. My current bike is a 2016 Harley-Davidson Road Glide Ultra. I think it would be awesome when he's old enough to ride. You know, I'd love to be able to go riding with him. He won't want to ride on the back forever. We just did an exhaust swap, well, slip-on exhaust swap.
My favorite part is when screwed both out, took them out. He did a test sound before that, and when it was all out, it was louder than it was before.
Oh, because we pulled the baffles out, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yep. I want to take people with me in my travels and stuff and show them the Midwest. Not just for the Midwest, but just to encourage people to get out there and explore. I'm Andrew, this is my son Gavin, and we are a Dennis Kirk family.
We're ready to race. What's your strategy? Go fast.
The Fueling name has been associated with racing and high-performance engines since 1974, when founder Jim Fueling started fueling the flames. From Daytona to Monaco, from the Bonneville Salt Flats to the Indy 500. Fueling is here to compete. Look for the Flying Pig to run up front this year with pilot Ben Boschman. Fueling. No bullshit, just performance.
Okay, big thanks to all our sponsors. Really appreciate the support, getting Shop Talk out every Sunday night. And like I said, if you haven't been over to one of our biggest network affiliates is Chopper Town, and if you haven't been to their Facebook page, tons of great programs. Obviously, you remember Chopper Town for the movie Chopper Town, The Sinners, but in addition to that, they have shows like this. They have little mini documentaries, tons of motorcycle entertainment. Go check them out. And big thank you to everyone over at the Cycle Source that watches us from there too. Show's going pretty good. Little stumble here and there, getting through the news a little bit, but
we stumble getting through the news.
I did. But
you blew through getting through the news because you were so excited to get.
Well, I only did what I do. 2 news pieces. There's still news. There's still news on the table. No. Let's listen. Let's hit this one, and then we'll go back to the guests.
Which one?
Real quick. Triumph TE1 prototype may be the hottest electric motorcycle yet. Dude.
You mean catching on fire hot or hot?
That.
Actually.
That's for you, buddy. Little round of applause for your jocularity. No, but I actually dig this bike. I wish it had a motor.
The headlight thing is kind of wrong.
Well, listen, everything can't be perfect.
Well, no, but look, it's just not. No.
You're such a chopper chick.
No, it's just look at the shape of just the headlight thing.
It looks like a Madonna boob. It's a Madonna boob. All right, so we're going to get back to our guests. We have the pleasure tonight of having Xavier Muriel from Providence Cycle Works. There, I said it right.
You said it right. Woohoo! Give yourself applause.
Wait till next time.
Xavier is on with us talking about the High Seas Rally bike, and I believe we have some of his contemporaries with us that are also going to be on the cruise with us. But let's see if I can actually. I want to pull everybody's lower thirds and act like I really have my shit together and
now you're pushing
have them all corresponding. I know.
Let me apologize to you three now.
I can't believe that they're letting us all come on the same boat at the same time.
Dude, it's going to be clown shoes.
The only thing I can say is they apparently do not know us very well, and it's a good thing.
We clearly don't know.
What's up, fellas?
They have no idea. Why would they do? Oh, well, let me be the first to apologize to the other 2,990 some odd people, because these two fucking knuckleheads right here and myself and the rest of this crew, it's gonna be bananas.
It's gonna be good. Enough apologies to cover this whole thing.
I'll tell you what, we got a lot to live up to because we were actually doing interviews during Daytona. We went down to Port Canaveral where this is all leaving from. And we got to talk to some people who are like faithful. I mean, this guy had a leather hat on and he had every year, every patch that there's ever been a trip. He's been on every one. And he was telling us stories about the shit that goes on just at the launch party. And I was like, oh my.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should I be afraid?
So it's going to be chaos until about 9 o'clock when we all go to bed. We'll be like,
oh,
what did you just say? What did you
There's no going to bed.
Did you mean AM?
I will go to bed.
Trust me. Yeah. Yeah. Watch it. You guys will be watching the sun come up over one of the balconies, and you're like, oh, this is so, and everybody else will be, it's just.
So
it's going to be a good time, man.
Keith Kronoff is asking, will we have several live feeds from the cruise? So here's the plan. We're hoping that we have that kind of connection. If not, by the time that we get to ports, we're hoping that we can sneak off, hook up to something, and shoot the footage that we're collecting out. So, yes, we will have like-ish coverage.
Hey, if we get that new piece of equipment,
yes,
that should work, right?
Yep.
Oh yes, we will be doing live feeds from the
Come on,
show.
fellas, help
Y'all
me out. I'm looking to drop a G note on some new gear, and she's down.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, so we've talked about the motorcycle, which the motorcycle was incredible, and it's killer that they're just giving this bike to someone that's on this cruise. But the other investments that they've made, they're having us throw some virtual bike show. We're going to do some mini bike racing in port. And then there's you guys. You guys are coming on to bring the whole custom world with this thing.
Well, and the mini bike champion.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, we're throwing down the gauntlet already.
My goodness.
Yeah. Can I get an amen?
My goodness. Yeah. So do tell.
Well, let me just start by this. First of all, gentlemen, it's good to see you.
See you.
The High Seas Rally, I don't know really what they're thinking, because they asked me, well, what do you think, Xavier? How do we get this, how do we make it big? How do we just bring it to the next level? So the first immediate thing was to bring in the Source Media Group, because they're geniuses at all that. Absolutely. Had a couple of other ideas, and then I went, hey, let me throw something at you. Why don't I ask a couple of my builder friends to come on this boat, promote the cause, bring some of their product to display on the boat, and you'll have a gigantic boat full of guys and builders and questions and Bud Light and belly flops. And they were like, yeah, that seems good. And here we are.
And here we are.
After this reason.
That's right.
Yeah. So that's what I did. I picked a couple of guys that I knew would be down for the cause, understand what was the commitment to it, and that were generally just nice dudes that you would normally have, you would break bread with, sit at a dinner table, talk motorcycles, talk family, talk anything, and it not be a weird fucking environment. We already have enough of that. So I asked, Rick Bray from RKB Customs and Mr. Tom Keefer from Franklin Church Choppers, Jason Hallman from Speed Metal Bill, Mark Matthews from Texas Performance. And every one of these guys brings their own little flavor to the buffet that, of not only the industry, but just everybody else's lives, the things that they do for other people. And to have that kind of culmination of guys and, motorcycle lovers and enthusiasts to the most degree on the boat.
Can I break in
awesome.
for 1 second? The thing I like about this yet is you have yet to pick a dickhead, which is really awesome. I mean, we're going to be in kind of confined quarters, and the fact that you haven't picked that asshole that always shows up and you're like, man, we were really having a good time, man.
Now trust me, I did that whole process in my office for about 2 weeks of them going, well, have you figured it out yet? Have you figured it out yet? And I'm like, I'm almost there. The list is getting shorter. And it's not.
And he still called Keefer, right?
Yeah. I literally just I knew the dudes right off the bat, and it's not a diss to any other the guys that I said were in my phone contact list. Everybody, I thought at this point, at this stage in their lives, were able to do what was needed for the High Seas Rally. And again, we don't know. Yeah, exactly. We don't know what's going to happen with 22. If this does great, which I'm hoping it does, then we take it to the next level again, because that's what we need to do to keep promoting the industry and the community and everything that goes along with it. Because, I mean, what's going to happen if we don't do that? It's going to fucking fizzle out, and it's going to fizzle out and die.
And this is the thing. A lot of what we saw in Daytona this year. So for you guys that didn't go to Daytona, the numbers in Daytona, talking to some of the property owners, they had to go back to 2006 to find numbers that were as good as this year. And what that means is not only are people suffering from, being stuck in their houses and need to get out, but there was a renewed vigor. Like, we saw a lot of guys from the performance segment and from the chopper segment who brand new bikes, never been seen before. More new custom builds out there this year than ever before. And there's momentum again, so really what I'm saying when I'm telling you about the crew that you're picking, Xavier, is these are all guys I can confidently say have a responsibility and an investment in promoting the industry and promoting the culture and this thing that we do.
Yeah, absolutely. I've had the pleasure of working side by side with Tom Keefer at a bunch of the Sons of Speed stuff, and in the middle of the night till 4 a.m. getting race bikes done. Rick was kind enough and generous enough to take me into his shop at the early build of this, because I flew to Lemoore, California with an idea, and him and I sat in his shop and built the frame for the HSR bike. So if that isn't an indication of like the guys that, I want to be surrounded with, I don't really know what is, because, it's that thing again. I want everybody to go on this thing and have a great time, because I want people to talk about it, and I want people to go, so how do we get involved? How do the big companies out there, how do they go, well, how do I get involved? And other builders, how do I get involved? That's what I want. It isn't about the glorification of myself or Tom or Rick or Jason or you or anybody else. It's literally bringing awareness to the cause so that the cause continues, because if we don't keep building it, then the cause goes away. And then what? That's unacceptable, man. So,
well, Tom, this is really exciting, because in my personal life, Tom is even, he gives of himself to a lot of people that he never even mentions. Like, you talked about him being, behind the scenes at the Sons of Speed building stuff. He's come to my house pre-Daytona to help me get bikes ready and finish projects, and and just said, hey, listen, I see you're busy, I'm going to come out, but really, like, for respect level of the stuff that you're building, I was showing a little bit of your stuff from the shop and from Sons of Speed. Like, there's no question about your abilities, and for a lot of years I've been a fan of what this cat does and the kind of person he is too. Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Tom, do you know what you're going to bring to High Seas Rally? You know, what bike are you going to bring? Are you going to bring my knucklehead?
It's either going to be the one that he just put up or the one that I don't have the frame back for the powder coater yet. It's going to be one of those. It's going to be one or the other. Yeah, I've got a 44 that I'm building for a show that should be pretty damn nice. It'll rival that red knuckle that was in the liquor show last year. It'll be nice.
I think that might be one of my favorite bikes of yours. I love that knucklehead.
There's a lot of builders within that bike that inspired me over the years. You look at the front wheel and there's no other than Bill Dodge. You can look at that. And I mean, that's just he's one of the guys I've always looked up to. And there's just all kinds of stuff. I looked up to the Indy Larry stuff, Paul Cox, all that. I really enjoy taking a little bit of all the different builders that I like and kind of incorporating them into my bikes.
So, Rick, you're going to have to excuse me because I didn't get any assets to exemplify your prowess in the mini bike arena. But I'm more than happy to talk about your skill as a craftsman because it's the reason we hate you. And,
yeah, all day long.
Well, I was going to say, you actually don't really have to say or show pictures. All you got to say is RKB, and everybody's like, oh, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
That dude just kills it. We didn't even want to talk about him.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
You guys
Never
are
heard
so
of it.
mean. I have an important question for Tom, though. Is he bringing the Evel Knievel outfit on the cruise?
You better
I'll
speak.
probably end up bringing that in the helmet.
Is there still burn marks on it?
It still has all the burn marks and the big hole in the elbow that I still have a chip that out of my elbow in. And
So
that night was fantastic.
Oh my God, that was so good. I wish I would have had that loaded.
Oh my God.
I wish I'd have had that video loaded here. The next time
I only have one video that's about 2 seconds long, and it's so dark. That's the only thing I've ever seen of it.
Dude.
It's a cell phone.
So, X and Rick, if you don't know what we're talking about, shortly after they pulled off that half-assed Evel Knievel live thing where the chick rode through like the 12 board walls or something. Seriously, it was like 50 walls, I think. Keefer agreed to let us build at Gettysburg Bike Week a 50-wall structure, and we lit it on fire, and with a mini bike and Evel Knievel costume, he rode through 50 burning walls on a mini bike.
I think you're stretching it a little bit. I think it was 15.
It was a lot. I can
Listen,
tell you that.
who's running this shit?
It took me.
I said 50.
It took me all day to build those walls, and then build them so you wouldn't die doing it to boot.
The fact that you were in an Evel Knievel suit on a mini bike going through anything with fire, that's fucked up.
Awesome.
The funny part about it is they come up with this brilliant idea like 8 minutes before they do it, and they're like, "Hey, can you build us these walls?"
Have you met Chris?
We're gonna drop up. Keefer was really cool with it. The closer and closer it got, the more nervous he got. He was walking around real fast.
Dude,
it was great.
Wait, my favorite.
Stone cold sober.
My favorite.
Not a beer.
He had to be sober. They were only like 3 feet wide. He couldn't fuck up. But the best thing was
I went through the last one head over heels.
Yeah,
remember?
Sideways, upside down.
The best thing
so
was.
now, to make it better, is now we have to get Rick to do that on one of the ports.
Oh,
yep.
Yes.
Yeah, I want 65 walls.
Well, you're going to need to get your own Evel Knievel suit.
Listen.
I'm going to tell you right now, there's going to be no sober about it.
Listen, I already got you lined up, baby. Instead of the wall thing, since that's already been done, and I know you're like a class act and you're going to go for originality, we're going to get you on a mini bike to jump 52 microbuses.
Yes. Yes.
Why don't we do what we did when we were kids? We just lay all the girls down.
Yeah.
Hey, we're talking about
Tom,
stuff on a mini bike.
Yeah, and listen, Tom, nobody here is going to believe that you laid all the girls down when you were a kid.
No, yeah.
Well, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, this is going to get out of hand. So, back to Rick. Yeah, man, your bikes are just, it's... Even my own wife sits here and while we're getting ready for the show, she's like, "God damn, is he talented?" And I'm like, "Wow, that's awesome." Did I mention it was cold? It was cold. I was in the pool.
Yeah.
He always has a flow about him.
Everything
that he does, the flow is just like
it's right.
Where do you come up with
right.
like? Is it just? I mean, do you just pop this out of your head, or like do you pre-draw this all up and go over it? But everything just falls in.
Absolutely. I don't draw anything. I just got a couple screws loose and everything clicks once it's going. I just shoot from the hip. That's the best thing. If you have too long to think about it, it just goes to hell. You just got to go.
Yeah, you don't overthink it.
Oh, look,
And
honey, he's an educated man. Now I really hate
Things
him.
that I want or things that I like, not so much for everyone else.
Right.
Once you get out of your comfort zone trying to please someone else is where you get in trouble.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what.
Yep.
You seem to have a natural ability to travel in and out of different styles.
Yeah.
You know, whatever you call that. If it's stuff that you're doing to please yourself or challenge yourself, you go from style to style, and you know it's exciting to see the next thing you're working on.
I truly appreciate it.
I still trip out on a daily basis because Rick and I talk, you know, a lot during the week, and it's mostly text because we don't really talk on the phone that much. And when we do, it's like, you know, chattering girls. But it'll be like a picture at 8 a.m. on my end because he's in Cali and I'm in Texas. So it's just like, oh, check this out. And then like 2 hours later, I send him one, and then he sends me one, and I send him one. So it's constantly going back and, you know, back and forth. And that's such an amazing thing because I was, you know, I've been a fan of Rick's for much like everybody else for years, man. And the Artistry and Iron Days and then the Easy Rider stuff. And like, where did this kid come from? And like, so to have the ability to like have influence from him and bounce ideas off of him and things that he's already done that he knows works and doesn't work is amazing. And much like, you know, Keefer, again, like I said, working on the Sons of Speed stuff, like him and I working on a motor and him go, no, it has to be like this because the timing cam has to go this way. And it's, dude, there's nothing better than that, to be surrounded with such amazing talent. And, you know, same with you, Chris, like watching you go from the paintbrush to the TIG torch to, I'm going to take this Sprinter van and make it a mobile unit, and fuck me, there it is. Like, wow, you know. And Mark the same way, like, hey, Mark, we need to put these bikes up and angle them at the Lone Star. Okay, watch this. Bam, done, you know.
And that's what's good about all of us. I mean, think about it. I said,
this is a crew, man.
Obviously, you look at what Rick has done. Keefer's mechanical mind, I mean, even just a few nights that we had him here, like, you have a little problem. Like, the dude just spits stuff right out. Okay, let's try this. And it worked. You're
well,
like,
and consider that. Consider Tom walking into the room that was that collection of people for Sons of Speed.
Right.
Because you had Barry Wardlaw. You know, Steve Broyles, Warren Lane. Like,
yeah, it's a thick group.
Yeah.
I was overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And you can't walk in there without your A game. Like, you have to know your shit just to be in that room.
But I was still overwhelmed. So.
I think that the whole time I did that stuff with Billy, all those late nights, those overnighters, you know, finishing up stuff that packed 16 motorcycles into a trailer to head to Sturgis. I think the craziest night was when Paul Cox walked over to me and goes, hey, man, I need you to take the Springer front end that I made, and I need you to weld this here, 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 and here. And I went, what? He goes, yeah, no, here, 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 and here. I kid you. And he goes, okay. And I go, okay. And I remember like the helmet going down really slow, going, don't fuck this up. You know? But what an amazing thing to and that's the cool thing, man, is everybody, all of us have our own little thing that is unique to us. But when you put those all together,
what a team.
It's fireworks. Like like watching Rick work is so not right. It's
I'm looking
not
forward
because everything that he does, it's just like he's talking to you while he's going, and it's done. And there he goes here, and I go, dude, do you even know what you just did? He's like, well, yeah, you know. So those kind of like seamless events that happen that you get to see, you know, is rad. And I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see what kind of chaos is going to happen on this boat, because these people, these High Seas Rally people, Chris, trust me, and Rick and Heather and Mark and everybody on the screen and listening, they're going to go, man, that was awesome, or they're going to go, yeah, thanks a lot. You know, they're going to be done with it. You know,
listen,
it's either going to be one or the other, man.
All kidding aside. So some of the stuff that we're talking about here is we're actually going to be doing some Grease and Gears Garage stuff on the show. So if you guys are familiar with Grease and Gears Garage that we did over a 4 or 5 year period at the big rallies, we'd have people come up on stage and they'd go through the stuff that they do at their shop, their techniques, their tricks of the trade, as it were. And, of course, we're not going to be able to do things that would possibly light the ship on
and
fire.
It's not going to be as exciting because me and Pat Jansen aren't going to be there. So
I know.
It's going to be a little less exciting.
We might try to get you a little stowaway thing going on, Mark.
Yeah, that's going to be super hard right now.
We can get you on a dinghy.
Yeah.
He's already got a dinghy.
As great as that would, be, something bigger is holding me to ground right now. So
So all of this stuff is coming up. If you guys want to, I'm going to throw a link up for you real quick for the High Seas Rally webpage. And we're looking for more shipmates all the time. So get involved in this thing. It's going to be a trip. It's the first time that I can think of that a collection of people like this and the outreach that they're doing to bring us all together and bring this kind of experience. First time I've ever heard of anything like it. So go check it out at highsearally.com. You find out all about the bands and everything else. But, for me, these guys.
Wait a
the
minute.
bands.
Yeah.
Yes.
The bands.
Yes. Speak it, Heather.
Did you
Speak
say
that
the
truth,
bands?
sister. Speak that truth, sister.
Chris, you can't just glaze over that.
Well,
Come on, get
I
your
wasn't going to be.
shameless plug in. I heard about it all day today. For Christ's sake.
So, Xavier, what band is going to be playing on the cruise ship?
Well, Heather, the band that will be on not only the pre-party night before kickoff show and 2 performances on the boat will be the Black Smoke Sinners that your husband and myself are part of. So
rad.
we are bringing 4 Texas guys and 1 PA cat, and we are gonna fuck some shit up,
dude. And
tell you what,
these are seriously some of the best players I have ever played with. Like there isn't a bum in this band. Like what a blast.
No,
I saw you guys at Daytona last year.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah. Well, Rick saw us in Sturgis or Lone Star, right?
Texas.
Yes.
Yeah, and then Keefer, you saw us in Daytona last year, right?
Oh yeah, you guys, you blew me away. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I knew that you guys are good. I mean, obviously one of you is. So I was just blown away. I was blown away by how good everybody was together.
Thanks a lot, Keefer.
Really
that was one of us. That means that guy right there with the bass, because it ain't me.
Chris, with the long hair.
Yeah, it's a good rock and roll show. There's no bullshit, no nonsense. We play a bunch of stuff that all the other bands don't play because they probably can't. We have an amazing singer that has the ability to sing anything. And, it's a good time, man. I mean, it's a good rock and roll experience. And the fact that we get to take that on board with, all our family and all our friends. And I mean, like, I still can't believe it, dude. Sometimes I go, are they crazy? What are they thinking?
It's going to be awesome.
Dude, best comment we ever got for the Sinners, and I don't know if I ever even shared this for you, but was from Jeff Cochran. And Jeff said this to Mark when we went on stage at, I think it was Broken Spoke, it might have been Iron Horse, but we did Hotel California. Jeff looked at Mark and he goes, wow, they're really going to try this? And by the end he was like, I can't fucking believe it. I can't believe they actually pulled that off. Because that's a song that you can just train wreck.
You can butcher that song 11 million ways to Sunday, and I've seen it happen. And one of the biggest highlights of playing that song, because I mean, when somebody brought that I remember when Wagner asked me about it, and he's like, and I go, listen, dude, that song either has to be executed absolutely perfectly, or it's gonna suck. So you have to decide execution perfect or suck. Those are your options. And I remember playing it up there, and I'm in my Don Henley mode, and I'm light playing. I'm like, yeah, I'm in the pocket. I'm doing my thing. And fucking Chris Callan is over there sitting down, and he's got his leg out, and his bass is in his crotch, and he's playing every fucking note, moving around, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is good. And then when we got done, I was like, wow, we actually pulled that off, but it's going to be a good time, man. I mean, it's going to be, and there's a pre-ride that the builders are going to be doing with some of the with some of the ship goers that they're still working out all those little details. And there's so much cool stuff that's going to happen on that boat. There's tons of vendors, you know, there's going to be tons of things to do. All the builders are going to have Q&A sessions and round tables. And then there's a grease gears and garage. Keefer's going to be doing excerpts on, I think, carb stuff. Rick's going to be doing some other stuff. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing yet. And, you know, it's going to be cool. It's like inviting 3,000 people to your garage and hanging out.
I'm pretty sure your segment is going to be on Rake and Trail for when you're building long bikes.
Oh God, no. Well, and if it is, thank God, because I've got you and Bray. How about that? Yeah.
Hey, listen,
dude.
I have a present for you guys because, you know, shit's been kind of heavy lately. I mean, you know, we had a little blast with Daytona and stuff, but it's been heavy. So this is really a present for everybody. I found through Heather the coolest thing on the internet ever.
In all fairness, Jason Hallman sent it to me.
Ever of all time. And I have to put this out there because it's going to make everybody's day better. It's only going to take 30 seconds, so get ready.
Look at my happy guy. Oh, just a happy guy. Oh, just a look at that, a happy, oh, the happy dog. Oh, just a happy. Look at my happy guy. Oh, just a happy guy. Oh, just a look at that.
Oh my God.
That's me at 11:30 on Friday night.
I was about to say, that's going to be a bunch of you guys, and I'm going to be watching you on the deck going, yep, there it is. The happy dog.
The
So
problem
if
is
anybody
11:30
ever
the
just
next
needs
morning.
to smile,
Yeah.
send me a message.
Yeah.
I will send you that video.
What'd you say,
Yeah,
Ray?
that's going to be these guys at 11:30 the next morning. High octane Hallman will just be like, happy guy. I'm a happy
guy.
And he's another one. He's not on the screen with us right now, but I mean, he was super integral in that last minute nonsense high seas rally that I went through, you know, so he has massive kudos, and Mark Matthews as well.
Well, we're going to have
that was the reason. Are you having him on later on?
We're going to have him and Mark both on for another show. And
Metal.
We'll have a little more of this stuff figured out and nailed down, you know, from here until October, because this thing goes off October 22nd is when it leaves, 22nd through the 29th of 2021, leaves from Port Canaveral, goes through Nassau, Coco Cay, Puerto Plata, Labadee, 7 days on Royal Caribbean's Mariner of the Seas. The entire ship front to back is going to be fooled with motorcycle maniacs and two-wheeled miscreants. Get ready.
And I heard from a little birdie, a little source, that the cabins are going quickly.
Yeah.
That is from a reputable source, so I won't get slammed with some sort of, you know, nonsense fucking statement.
Hey,
They're hey man, that wasn't right. They're going, you know, which is again what we are trying to do. Myself, Keefer, Bray, Matthews, all you guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because again, it would be awesome for people to go, can't wait to do this next year. Can't wait. You know, so.
Well, do me a favor. Let's start with Rick. Rick, tell everybody where they can keep an eye on what you're doing.
You could go on my Instagram, RKB Custom Speed, or on my Facebook, it's Rick Bray. I tag all you guys. I share all the high C stuff and what I'm doing. I'm not 100% sure on what bike I'm taking. It'll either be King Solomon or a new one I'm doing, which if I get the new one done, it's going to be retarded.
Hey, and we got to get with you on that lowrider bike. Like we want that in the magazine. I got to figure out. I don't know if we have a photographer up in your area, but if you have one that you work with, please turn them on to us so we can get that bike shot, because I'm in love with that motorcycle.
Not a problem at all.
Keefer, buddy, how about you?
I'm on Instagram under Franklin Church Choppers and Facebook under Franklin Church Choppers. My website pretty much sucks. It just tells you to go to that. So I just paid $14 a month.
Is it an arrow pointing to the?
Yeah, it's just an arrow pointing to the Facebook and Instagram symbol. That's all it is. So, but yeah, it's under Franklin Church Choppers. So I'm looking so much forward to doing this. It wasn't a hard decision. It was a hard sell kind of to my wife and mainly to my business, just to say, okay, you got to do this. It's for a great cause, great people. And of course, you know, you can't be with anybody better than you guys as far as X and Heather and Chris, and wish you could be there, Mark.
Yeah,
so
I wished I could.
I'm
too.
really looking forward to meeting the other builders too. You know, I've met most of them, but I don't know all of them.
Yeah, Mark's,
you're gonna have a blast.
Mark's got a champion cause that he's been missing from a few things, but his place is there.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Keefer was actually hitting me up way before I had ever even approached the HSR team with this idea. He was like, "So what's going on with this HR thing? I need you. What's going on? I've never been on a cruise. It's it's my anniversary." And I was like, "Yo, relax." And then I was like, "Wait, that one just kind of fell in my lap, you know." Yeah. And then, of course, with Rick, I was like, "Oh no, he's going. I don't give a fuck what he says. He's going." So.
Right on. Well, listen. Xavier, please tell everybody where they can keep track of you, because your shit's on fire right now.
Thank you, my man.
You know, obviously you can go to the pages of Cycle Source magazine every issue and see his column. He writes a On the Road with X column, and every time we get a chance to put one of his bikes in. But for your dailies, tell everybody where they can keep up.
You know, pretty much like Rick and Tom, and a lot of people right now. My Instagram is Providence Cycle Works, and then my website that will direct you to all the other ones, Facebook and Twitter and all that nonsense, is providencecycleworks.com. And yeah, man, I'm excited. There's so many other, having Hallman and Matthews on here, and everything that those guys are bringing. Because like I said before, each one of us, as well as the Source Media Group, is all bringing something different to this buffet. So there's going to be a lot of things for people to feed on.
You say buffet?
Oh,
he
yeah.
did.
Yeah. And it's funny is I told when I was pitching this to these guys, I had conversations on them, and I'm trying to be like all business-like, and I'm not that fucking guy. And I'm like, so, what's going to happen is you're going to have commitments and videos and I use the old thing that I was told, from, Tommy Lee. He was like, man, listen, people don't go on Shiprock and Monsters of Rock cruises to hear the bands. They've already seen the bands. They want to wake up the next morning and stand next to a rock star while they're getting coffee and ask them questions. And that's what's going to happen. Rick's going to have his segment. Tom's going to have his segment. Somebody's going to come up to them and go, hey, man, I saw King Solomon. What gave you the idea to do this? Or, hey, Tom, I didn't understand when you were talking about the butterfly. What is that? That's the awesome thing is that these
Tom's
people
answer
get
is going
to
be
experience.
Tom's answer is going to be buffet.
Buffet. they get to approach these builders, these guys that they've seen in publications and on social media platforms, and ask them questions about what they do for a living and how they love it and why. Yep. And that's worth more than anything else, because it brings everybody to the same level. There is no higher, there's no above, there's no nothing. It's just a bunch of people standing in line waiting to get fucking pancakes talking about motorcycles.
Yeah, buddy.
Tacos.
That's pretty rad. Tacos.
I like tacos. I like tacos. All right, fellas. Well, listen, we're going to cut you loose. Thank you so much for taking some time with us. And as we start to get closer to the date and we're locking in more of these details, we may likely have everyone as a group on. I think that's a good idea to shoot for, actually, so we can talk about specifically the things that are going on and what everybody's doing. But throughout this whole process, if you guys just keep track of Cycle Source Magazine's Facebook, webpage, Instagram, all of it, we're going to make sure that, we get you all the information.
Great. Right. Thank you, guys.
Cool.
All right, guys. We'll catch you soon.
All right. We'll see you then.
Metal.
Right.
Awesome. So good. So for those of you still watching, if you do want to book the cruise, you can save $100 if you use the word Cycle Source.
And just there you go. You
can come hang with us.
There's our promo girl, Heather.
Right? I was actually, while you guys were talking about tacos and buffet, I was looking at some of the cool stuff on the ship. They have like a surfing pool.
I know.
And this huge water slide and a rock climbing wall and an escape room. Do I have to work?
Yes. That's what we're doing there. We're going to work. So, hey, man, listen, I got real quick, I want to share a video with you. One of the highlights from Daytona was the Dennis Kirk Garage Build Show, and we spent some good time there that day. So we're going to roll this video, then we're going to come back with you guys and wrap up. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this video.
Hey, this is Heather from Cycle Source Magazine, Grease and Gears TV, coming to you live from Daytona Beach, Florida. We are finishing up a couple bike shoots this morning, and then we are heading over to the Broken Spoke Saloon for the 3rd annual Dennis Kirk Garage Build Bike Show. Chris and I are going to be on site all day, filming some interviews. We want to talk to you, the garage builder. We want to know what inspires you to build in your home shop. We want to know where your love of motorcycles came from. So.
My name's Dan Starkey from Carthage, Indiana. I'm an audio video engineer by trade, and I play with motorcycles in my free time. Something I take pride in, as far as like, a bike like this, for example, I do it in an archaic way. I'm a guy with a cutoff wheel, a file, and a TIG welder. And no fancy tools, no space to do it, but there's more than one way to skin a cat. Dennis Kirk is great. Every time I've ordered, it's way ahead of schedule compared to everybody else to where I order. I can order something at 11 o'clock at night online, and that next day it's going to be shipped, and I'll have it the next day.
My name's Drew Huddleston. I'm from Alton, Illinois. I've been building out of my garage and slowly working my way up to having cool bikes just to put old bikes back on the road again. My space is not very big. It's a little 2-3 car jam that it's packed full of bikes, and I have to move everything out every night just to play with my own. So this bike started its life as a 1979 FLH, which I'm not a big fan of the baggers and the springs, so I went and got a frame from a Panhead, 63 Panhead, and then stretched it 6 up, 36-degree rake.
All right, my name is Brian Idespil from Sarasota, Florida, and we came here for Bike Week 2021. I'm a design engineer manager for Chris Craft Boats. So this is all fun in the garage. I have a budget I have to hold on to and keep my wife happy to where I'm not overspending, but also something that I worked on and did everything myself. It is an Ironhead Sportster. It started life as a 1983, and what I decided to do is turn it into a 1930 Model 5. Once I had my ride height figured out, I ordered up new wheels. They're 16-inch. But I had to narrow, so I had to go and measure with wheel sizes and tire sizes. I wanted to completely fill that front end, make it look like a vintage bike. So I did a lot of research. I have a house in Sarasota. It's a 3-car garage, and the 2 cars are on one side, and the third is turned into a shop where I have 2 motorcycle lifts, and I have a Road King. I have this. I'm restoring a 74 Norton Commando, and I'm doing a turbocharged Cafe Racer that I got from my dad. I wanted to do the old-fashioned look and how the bikes used to be back in the day, where everyone worked on them with their own hands, with their own tools, and they had that pride of ownership and the build. And that's what I really enjoy about this show, because it brings that back out.
My name is Eric Centro. We're from upstate New York in a city called Rome, New York. And we're up in the snow belt. I play with bikes, I play with big trucks when I'm not working. I have my own shop at home. I'm trying to be semi-retired. The retirement's not working out real well. When we bought this bike, it was the ugliest thing you could ever see. I set out to build the bike, and I'm not a bike builder. Typically I build big monster trucks up on big tires. I can tell you any motor, any tranny, anything you want to know. So this was a major project. I built a lot of other custom things, and I've won quite a few shows with other stuff I built. This is the first bike. It's in my blood, and that's what I do. Galesburg, Illinois. Dan Haas. It's 1948 Panhead. Pretty much built out of all original parts. The ones that aren't original are the ones I made everything that's not original. Gas tank, handlebars, all the hand shifts, and sissy bar, and reclaimed a lot of old parts and just incorporated them into the build, I guess. I've liked them since I was a kid, but I've only owned or been started building stuff since like 06. I own an old steel building in Galesburg. It's an old steel mill that used to produce all kinds of fire doors and old factory windows and all kinds of stuff. But I bought it there in Galesburg, so I made a shop in there to work on my stuff. Busy doing flooring, and then I work on stuff at night or at the building, work on my project. It took me about 8 years probably to finish the thing. But I taught myself a lot doing it. Like, I didn't know how to TIG weld before. I knew how to MIG weld and small metal fabrication, but watching a lot of build-offs and stuff like that kind of inspired me to do, seeing people do shit with their bare hands instead of making them out of machines, but, made me think I could probably do that, I haven't been here since I was a kid. I went to Biketoberfest, I think, in 06, and watched the bike build-off, that competition down here and stuff. That was the last time I was here.
Again, this is Heather Callan from Cycle Source Magazine, Grease and Gears TV, coming to you live from the Daytona Broken Spoke Saloon at the 3rd Annual Dennis Kirk Garage Bill Show. We'll see you soon.
All right, man. So listen, there was so much stuff from Daytona we're going to have for weeks to come. We're going to be rolling out content like that. So appreciate you guys sticking with us. I know it's late. We did the whole 120 minutes on this show, but it was a great show, and thanks to all the guys that came on from HSR. And
where did you learn to do math?
What?
Yeah, you messed up.
You're at 90 minutes, honey.
Oh.
It was
9,
You got 30 minutes.
10,
We still got 30 minutes then. Wait a minute. I got
No.
Hang on for
It's
a
been
second.
120.
I got another video.
No.
Heather.
Yeah, maybe you should have just kept that one inside, Heather. Real nice. Now we're here for 30 more minutes.
Whenever I'm wondering.
I cannot pass up an opportunity to pick on my husband in public. I'm sorry.
That's what I was just going to say. Whenever I'm wondering if anybody's actually paying attention, I know you're watching.
I love you.
Yeah. All right. So listen, Shop Talk every Sunday, 9 p.m. I put a post up while we were doing the roll of the Daytona Dennis Kirk garage build. And that show, I want to speak about that show for a second, because absolutely awesome that an organization like Dennis Kirk takes the time to, once a rally in Daytona and once in Sturgis, put on a show specifically for garage builders. And we can't thank them enough for doing that. Just pretty cool.
Smart business.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're good people.
Wait, Michael says, and before you all go, make sure you check these guys out. It's our band.
You guys don't suck, I have to admit.
Listen, I didn't ask him to put that up.
I know, you don't suck, I'm telling you, honestly.
Yeah, I know you would, honey. So, yeah, you can check us out at blacksmokecenters.com. There's a bunch of stuff there. I'll actually put a link up for that. Yeah, so next Sunday we'll be coming back with some more. We got tons of Daytona, and Heather's been scheduling guests out. We have some of the best guests that we've had on this show
I'm
to
excited.
date. Yeah, awesome. Awesome. Mark, aren't you excited?
I can't wait. I'm just going to stay right here until all these shows are done. I'm not leaving.
Oh, right on, man. Well, listen, I want to thank you guys again for letting us into your living room, your headspace, and sharing your time with us. It sure means the world to us to do this show, and we'll keep doing it. You guys keep watching and listening. We'll keep doing this shit. Till next week, same chopper time.
Same chopper channel.
Bye, Felicia.
I'm going to let that one just sit there for a second.
Let it go. Just relax. So can
and scene.